Shalom, Gabe Greenberg here, Rabbi of Congregation Beth Israel in New Orleans, coming to you as usual from the bank of the Mississippi River. In this week's Torah portion, Parshat Ve'etchanan, we hear the second articulation of the 10 Commandments. The final commandment is, "Thou shalt not covet." Now, coveting is a difficult word. We don't use it so much in our modern parlance. There's two verbs that Torah uses in this commandment: lo tachmod and lo titaveh. Lo tachmod is active. It's, you see something you want and you try and get it. Think the episode of Seinfeld where Jerry gets the pen that writes in space from his parents' neighbor. Now, depending on your read of Jerry's actions on that episode, will clarify whether you think this is truly an act of covetous acquiring. Be that as it may, I want to focus on the other verb, which is lo titaveh. Lo titaveh means don't desire. The Torah is telling us when you see something your neighbor has or that your peer has, don't internally want it. Don't be jealous of it. Now, that's a very difficult request, command for the Torah to make of us. How can we internally, emotionally regulate ourselves like that? If I see something I want, how can I help wanting it? Even if I just keep that to myself. Lo titaveh. Think of the words of the great British songstress Joss Stone when she says, "Don't tell me what I think, I feel. Don't tell me because I know what's real." She has a point. Scholars have grappled for hundreds of years with this question of how can the Torah demand of us that we control our own instinctual emotional reactions. And I'd like to offer just one potential solution. The sages tell us, Ezehu Ashir Hasameach Bechelko. Who is truly rich? The person who is satisfied with what he or she possesses. A very deep idea which tells us that true richness, true happiness in life comes from feeling blessed and grateful with what you already have. However, this too can be a bit of a difficult idea, because where in this notion is the idea that we should strive for more? We certainly do not advocate for poverty in Judaism, so there is a notion of growing and gaining beyond what you do have now. What the Torah tries to do is give us guidelines around when should we feel satisfied with what we have and when is it okay to desire more. And in fact, the rabbis have in a couple of places described for us what is considered an appropriate area of jealousy, of desiring that which we do not have. One of these things is called kinat sofrim. Kinat sofrim means jealousy of the sages. What's this? We've all experienced it. If you've ever been to a class or a lecture, or you've read a book and the writing or what's being discussed is so really brilliant and speaks to your heart, it speaks to your mind, it speaks to your brain, and you say, "Oh, I need to learn more about this. I want to gain the knowledge that is being expressed here. I want to grow in my learning." This is called kinat sofrim, where someone else's wisdom or knowledge spurs us on to want to learn more. Therefore, when the Torah tells us in the 10 Commandments, don't covet, lo titaveh, it's really telling us that with a bit of an asterisk. And it says, it's true, there's going to be times when you are feeling jealousy, you're feeling covetous. But the point is to take those emotions and channel them in the right direction. It's not to get that pen that writes in space, but it's to grow as a person. No offense to Mr. Seinfeld if you're watching this. It's to grow, it's to channel that towards positivity, towards helping yourself, your family, and your community come to a better place, more in tune with where we should all be going as a Jewish community and as a human community. I wish you Shabbat Shalom, as usual, from the banks of the Mississippi River.